Okay, this is a warm-up question, just one question from section 6.6 on order of operations with fractions. Now, we just did it in class. I gave the kids 4 or 5 minutes to do the question, and most of the kids got a negative answer. And before I reveal what the answer is, I want you to consider that's the first thing we're going to do, correct? Because of order of operations. In 1.5 groups of 2/3, or if I think of the commutative property where the order in which you multiply doesn't matter, 2/3 of 1.5, if I reverse that. And when I say 2/3 of 1.5, this answer here has to be less than 1.5 because we only have 2/3 of 1.5. So without figuring out what the answer is, I know that it's going to be less than 1.5. And when I take something less than 1.5, the next step I have to do is divide it by 3. So something less than 1.5 divided by 3 is going to be even less than 1.5. In fact, it's going to be less than 1, isn't it? When you think about it. So when I do all of this, this should be less than 1. And I'm just reasoning this out. So therefore, 2 3/5 take away something that's less than 1 has to be a positive answer, I think. So we're going to work this through and see where you guys made your mistake and see if we can avoid making that mistake again. So my first thing I'm going to do before I do anything is this. That's my first step. My next step is this. Have I done anything? No, the only thing I've done is I've considered the whole number to be over 1, and I've changed all of my mixed fractions to improper. So I really haven't done any operations yet. I've just set up this problem so it's much easier to solve. Everything's just set into improper fractions, and the whole numbers are considered fractions over 1. Now the first operation I have to do is my multiplication because it's the first thing I see from left to right. And actually, when I consider this, is that a fraction multiplied by its reciprocal? And when you multiply a fraction by its reciprocal, what do you always get? Do you all see 1 there? So that's going to be 1. That's the first thing I do. So my next one is going to be 13/5 take away 1 divided by 3 over 1. And I'm like, hold on a second. I don't even need that anymore because what's 1 divided by 3 as a fraction? Do y'all see that as 1/3? Let's pretend we didn't. Let's pretend we didn't. Let's just go back to that 1 over 1 divided by 3 over 1. Okay. So if I solve this one, I get 1 over 1 or just 1, but I'm going to keep it as a fraction anyway. Divided by 3 over 1. How do I divide fractions? 3 methods. You can find a common denominator. We don't like that one. You can use money if you're really good at decimal cents. Or the third way is, the easiest way to do it is multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to keep this first fraction and change to multiplication by the reciprocal, and the reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. And 1 times 1/3, or anything times 1 times anything is itself, it's 1/3. So we got 1/3 there. And the rest of this comes down. So we have 13/5 take away this 1/3, or something that's less than 1. So 2 1/5, or 3/5 take away 1/3 has to be a positive value. Common denominator is 15. Equivalent fractions. 39/15 take away 5/15. Your final answer is 34/15 as an improper fraction, and as a mixed fraction is 2 4/15.